Welcome to the What's Up Mike podcast. This is where I talk about whatever I feel like, but today it is freaking out because kids are at home and we're cooped up and everybody's on edge. Business looks like shit, but these loans are interesting. Looking for shit to do around my house. It's like the world zoomed in. Normally I'd drive across town for work, but I'm walking across the room for work. My version of getting out is going for a drive or walk in the backyard, but I'm enjoying the old car again. So here we go. All right, thanks for listening, joining me here, and the kids are at home. The coronavirus is a thing. I don't know. We moved here, moved to Charleston, South Carolina, and the kids got like 2 weeks in their new school, and then everything went to hell. School shut down. They got just enough time to get excited about making friends, and then got all those friends taken away from them. So they're cooped up in the house. Just like anybody else, we're figuring out what we can do with them. But, getting a little bit of homeschool. Thankfully, I actually like teaching my kids new things, even though it's a huge pain in the ass sometimes. And, the stress of not being able to go anywhere is more than we expected it to be. But, so we're in there. I imagine there's plenty of homeschooling woes happening pretty much everywhere right now. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, what are you going to do? I can only be angry dad so much and yell about, hey, it's time to clean this stuff up. But fuck. I mean, sorry. What am I going to do with these kids? Like they're in a bad situation just like I am. Maybe more Baileys in the semi-translucent coffee mug. If you're watching the video, my green screen situation that makes me look awesome in front of this logo is it's blue, so I've got a halfway translucent bluish green mug here going on. But yeah, so this is the first episode, and what we're dealing with in the world is a coronavirus that has shut us all down. Like I said in my little intro there, business looks like shit. I've been working remotely as one of my business owners for quite a while now, and just got down to Charleston and linked up with the rest of the office and was going into work, and things were looking awesome, but we are remote now, and we have every one of our clients that, is justifiably freaking out a little bit. Half of them shut down operations. Some of them think they have and do have viable products or services to deal with the situation or help contribute, help the medical industry, healthcare industry, whatever it is. But clients are freaking out. They're at home. They're doing what anyone would assume, which is scrutinizing anything about their business that they can because they're worried. That includes our services, so that's been interesting and, busy. But something we're dealing with is leading our team from afar. It's, it's a little weird sometimes, making sure everything gets done, making sure, not just for them, but also for us as the owners. I've got 2 partners, that it doesn't feel like an involuntary vacation. I don't know if that's even realistic or if that makes sense. But, you get home and there's nobody keeping track or not as much visibility over what you've got going on in the day, your list of tasks, the shit you got to get done, and things beckon. The laundry, the dishes, the kids playing outside. If it's a sunny day, I've got hobbies that are 10 feet away from me instead of a 15-minute drive away from me. So it's difficult to stay disciplined and stay focused with that. But yeah, business is uncertain. The team is kind of adjusting, but it's difficult to get all the stuff done with efficiency, and clients freaking out, and we don't know how long, brick and mortar, non-essential businesses are going to be shut down for. We don't know what the outlook is like for those businesses. Everyone is worried about making payroll. We're fine, but we're not fine for a year. We're not fine for longer than that. We're good to go for 3, 4, maybe 6 months with no issues. But when the outlook is uncertain, knowing that you're good for 3 months isn't too much comfort, considering it could go for 6 or 8 or a year, whatever it is. So, and we have an agency, a marketing and advertising agency, and so it's the kind of business where we have clients that freak out. Our clients are our livelihood, and they're worried about the same things we're worried about, and we are who they look to for answers in many of those cases. So, yeah. Other than work stuff, though, I mean, I'm looking for shit to do. Everybody's looking for shit to do, right? You're out there either home from work in limited capacity to get work done, or home from work just with no way to get your work done. So you're just home, idle hands, looking for stuff to do. I don't know. I think about my house as like my normal patterns of life, my normal world just zoomed all the way in to less than half an acre. So, I drive across town for work. Right now, my home office is connected to my bedroom. So it's like a 15-foot walk to work. Thankfully, I've got a home office. Not everybody's got that. My partners are working from dining room tables, couches in their house. I think they're setting up a makeshift home office, but I actually have a separate room. I mean, hell, it's half a dressing room. I'm sitting in it right now. It's got the green screen, blue screen thing that we got going on. It's got my lighting and everything for this little studio set up. All this I drug home from the office. When I want to get out, get a break, the most out I can get is going for a drive, but I'm not driving anywhere. I'm driving a loop, trying to get a nice view. If I want to go and do the equivalent of going to the store, going to grab a bite to eat, or just going to check something out that's outside the house, alone, whatever it is. My equivalent for that right now is walking in the backyard. I keep some plants, do a little bit of gardening, so I might repot something. Shit, I don't know. It's weird. Trying to get enough distance from my kids and family to keep some sanity, but also engage with them and manage their latent idle anxiety, I guess. Yeah, that's a challenge. Like the balance in relationships inside the house when you can't really leave gets pretty tense. I don't want to overwhelm our au pair and abdicate parenting responsibility. I don't want to put it all on my wife. I don't want to get too short with the kids. We're rapidly running out of new things to do, new movies to watch. We've exhausted the favorites on Disney Plus. We've exhausted them. I hate Frozen 2. So, yeah, what to do to keep some sanity. I've been working on the old car a little bit more. It's my escape, right? Like it's weird that so I've got this '83 Mercedes sedan. It's a kind of model car with it's got a cult following. It's almost 40 years old, and it's made out of basically just steel, wood, rubber, leather. Like it's built like a tank. It just got a bunch of work done on the engine, which hurt in the pocketbook, but hurt that checking account. But the engine's running pretty well. Still got some kinks to work out. The big thing though is it's this old sedan, classic Mercedes sedan, and it is the best thing on it's the paint. So I keep it waxed, keep it in the garage, and I try and keep it shiny. There's some areas that are oxidizing and stuff, but when you take it out, there's something about like people judge an old car by its paint. They some extent the interior and like how everything looks visually though that's the judgment. So even if the thing wasn't running too well, if it looks good, it gets a reaction. Yesterday I drove to drop something off with a business partner at his house, and on the way back, this dude was, I guess he was maybe early 50s, probably early to mid 50s. for reference, I'm 35, so it's a little bit like I'm on the young side to have a super old car. The car's a year older than I am, so people react to that a little bit, I think. But I'm driving back, beautiful drive over a bridge from one coastal Carolina island to the one I live on, and driving back, 70 degrees outside, windows down, sunroof open, and music on loud. I like my loud music. I have a whole system in the car with a 12-inch subwoofer. I think it's like all the shit that my parents wouldn't let me get in high school manifest at the age of 35. But my maturity and loud music issues aside, I turned the music down. The guy was yelling at me, and I was like, what's up? And he's like, hey, nice car. Screaming out of his window, what year is it? Just screaming at me. I told him, and he's like, it's in great condition. Just freaking out. But there's something about driving around and getting that positive feedback from strangers, no matter what it is. I'm pretty sure, like, I'm not the prettiest human being, but I'm pretty sure this is what it feels like to be hot. Pretty sure, because like, and I think now, like, this experience has helped me figure out why creepy dudes hit that midlife crisis and go for the yellow Corvette. See, the thing is they're missing it with the yellow Corvette, right? They're missing what they're actually looking for, because they're just looking for that positive feedback, right? They're looking to be treated like a hot chick. I found it, man. The way you get it, I think the way you get it with a car is people have to recognize that you have something that's rare, right? Like a yellow Corvette. I don't mean to hate on well, I do. Fuck Corvettes. Get a Dodge Viper if you want a real American supercar. Anyway, separate conversation. But the yellow Corvette misses the boat because anybody can go out and just buy a yellow Corvette with a little bit of cash, a lot of cash, whatever. All right. So all that says is I had the 40 grand to get the used yellow Corvette. That's not rare. That's not special. It's actually typical. It's normal. So what I've got is this car. My grandfather bought it new on the showroom floor. I've had it for like 10 years. He's in his mid-90s, and we had a great relationship growing up. I was super close to him. I loved driving in that car with him. I freaked out about it all the time, and I was the only one of his grandkids that really gave that much of a shit about this car. So he liked the idea of me keeping the car in good condition and driving it. And that, of all the people with interest, I'm the only one that's going to drive that thing daily and keep it maintained. And so I've got the car now. It's not super easy to keep working in perfect condition. It takes work on my part. I fucking waxed this thing for took me 2 hours yesterday to wash, wax, get it all cleaned up, get it in condition. And that's just from the dirt on it that came back from the shop getting repaired. So it takes some work. So it's different than the yellow Corvette example. It's different. And it's hard to figure out how people recognize that, but they do. They do for sure. People look at you in a yellow Corvette, but when you're driving in a car that's got that extra something to it, that's when you get, homeboy, hey, what year is it? I don't know, man. It's like that you can't discount that feedback, that positive interaction from other people. And going back to freaking out because kids are at home, business looking like shit and looking for things to do because we're cooped up, I get less of that interaction than normally. And I don't get it all the time. I'm not that hot chick in my example, but there's something about that positive feedback. And I've got a car that's got like a Kelly Blue Book value of $4,000 or something like that, but it gets it for me, has a positive effect on my life, and it's not a $40,000 yellow Corvette. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I think I'm going to have to go for another drive today. So yeah, I mean, that's that. But the kids will figure it out. We'll figure it out with them. Gonna keep some kind of balance between trying to keep some normalcy with school, FaceTiming friends, letting them have conversations that their parents aren't a part of, right? Like, how many conversations do the kids have in a day? Normally, where there's adults that are a part of it that aren't their parents? How many kids do they have with other kids normally where adults don't get input into what their conversation is? And right now, they talk with each other, in their rooms and while they're playing stuff, but it's just the siblings. I got 3 kids. It's just their siblings. They're losing all those conversations with their kids they have and all those conversations with adults that aren't their parents, and it's driving them nuts. So FaceTime is the answer, son. That's what we're doing. But it's worked out well. Evelyn, she's 8. She was on FaceTime with a friend from where we just moved from for like an hour and a half yesterday. I overheard some of what they were talking about. There's just nothing there, but she got so much out of it. So we're going to replicate that as much as possible. Try and keep some sanity. Just picked up project management software for the business. Trying to keep communication or make communication a little bit better. We'll see how it works out. Our employees are, doing pretty well, but we drop a few things here and there, and we're going to try and figure out how to cover that so that our clients that are wig out a little less maybe. Yeah, I'm going to go for a long walk in the backyard, maybe repot a plant, get some gardening in. I'm going to go for a drive in that old car. All right, well, I appreciate you hanging out for the conversation, checking in. Stay well out there. And again, this is, as you can see on the logo here, the What's Up Mike podcast. I'm going to try and do this every day.